in Thailand. I'm sitting here with a Swedish friend who lives in Philippines, Manila, and his name is Christer Bigander, and I can recommend his English programs now and then about what's happening in Sweden. So, Christer, how many years have you been doing this on YouTube?
The channel I'm running right now, I started in April last year, 2020.
Yes.
Before that, I had a couple of YouTube channels, but it wasn't about me. It was about international things. People sent me videos, and I just uploaded them. I never appeared in any of the videos myself.
Okay, and the name of your channel is Swexit TV. Can you explain why you have the name Swexit TV?
I was in London on the day of the voting when they voted for Brexit.
Yes.
And I was sitting at night, and everybody thought they would vote to stay in the EU. And I told my son, I really hope they will vote to exit the EU. And I said, if they can have Brexit, we can have Swexit.
Yeah,
Swedish
sure.
exit.
Yeah. And what I see every day, you have a video which sometimes you call it today's insanity about everything crazy going on in our country. And in the beginning, maybe it was only 5 minutes, but the madness is spreading. So now sometimes you are up in half an hour. How do you feel about that?
I think it's terrible. I wish I didn't have to do the program. Because it's also time consuming, because you got to find the news, you got to verify the news, and unfortunately we have something in Sweden called TT, Tidningarnas Telegrambyrå, where you can buy the news from, but I've been denied buying information from them of reasons which are lies. Of course, that's how they are. And they're part owned by the same people who owns the largest newspaper in Sweden. But sometimes I make shorter programs, sometimes longer programs, because, as you said, there's so much happening in Sweden that it's hard to comprehend.
Yes.
For us who lived in a peaceful, beautiful nation, seeing this, especially for us seeing it from a distance, it's horrifying.
Yes, and also, when were you in Sweden last time? How long time ago?
It's exactly 2 years and 2 weeks ago, because of the thing that happened around the world. Otherwise, I usually go to Sweden 3, 4, 5, 6 times a year. I still have a house there. I still have family, of course, but with the travel restrictions, I haven't been able to go there.
Yeah. And you also have children with the Swedish passport?
Yeah,
yes?
They're all Swedish.
Yeah, and you have a wife, a Philippine wife, and she cannot get a visa to go to Sweden, even if your children are Swedes. I mean, that's insane, yes?
Yeah, she was denied tourist visa. She was a threat to the European Union. We appealed it, and she got a 10-day visa. But there is another rule in Sweden. If you've been married for over 10 years and you haven't lived in Sweden, but you have a connection to Sweden, automatically under Swedish law, my wife are eligible for a Swedish passport.
Yes.
And I applied for it. It was actually a friend in the Middle East who helped me with it in one of the embassies. And then we applied here in the embassy in Manila for the Swedish passport. And my other friend, who's married to a Hungarian woman, we applied exactly at the same time. He applied in the embassy in Abu Dhabi. I applied in the embassy in Manila. We have the same story. He has 2 kids. They're both Swedish and Hungarian. My kids are both Filipino and Swedish. My wife owns half the house in Sweden. The Hungarian girl she was approved. She got the Swedish passport and the citizenship. My wife was denied. They said she didn't have enough connection to Sweden. With 3 Swedish kids, and she owns half a house, or apartment, I would say, but we call it house.
Yeah, and then I wonder what connection to Sweden have all these people from Middle East and Africa who
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean,
I appealed it, but it's nearly been now 8 months since I appealed it. I've heard nothing from the court. And to say that my wife don't have any Swedish connection when she owns an apartment or half, 50-50, she and me, and she has 3 kids who has Swedish passports. And they said very clearly in the papers, your connection to Sweden is not strong enough. What else is she going to do?
Yeah, I know what she has to
Convert her religion?
Yes, she must become Muslim and put an hijab on her head. Then it's easy to get in.
But
Yes.
the funny part is that the law is very clear. The court has made a grave injustice. But my friend with the Hungarian wife, they approved it immediately. And him and me, we were classmates, grew up in the same place. We have basically the same lifestyles, the whole thing. So the court is selective to whom they follow the law with, I would say.
Yes, yeah. Okay, Christer, I just wish you and your family good luck, and that your wife is have a possibility soon to follow you back to our country. Yes. So
well, we actually plan to go there before Christmas because the quarantine rules have eased up a bit here where we are in the Philippines. But my wife said, I don't want to be insulted again by the Swedish embassy. And the Swedish embassy in the Philippines has been very good to us, but they have nothing to do with the visas. It's all through the embassy in Bangkok. So we apply with a franchise here who sends the passport to Bangkok, and they do the application, then they send it back here. And last visa, when we were denied, and then eventually, then as I said, she got a 10 days visa, tourist visa to Schengen. The embassy lied in everything they said. They said she violated previous visas, which is not true. I send them copies of entry forms, tickets, the whole 9 yards. Everything was. We're always very meticulous to be legal and correct. But why are they so happy to allow these people from certain countries to enter, and certain people are not allowed to enter? A friend of mine, a very good friend of my wife as well, his wife is Thai. She got a 5-year visa to Sweden from the same embassy. But my wife can't go and visit our family for a week. And normally what we've done is, because the embassy has been like that for a long time, and there's a girl there, she's a BITCH. We apply with the French embassy, for instance. They give a visa immediately. So we fly to France.
Yes.
Spend a week in France, then we fly up to Sweden. No problem. But the Swedish embassy, where we actually connected, they will deny the visa. It's beyond my comprehension.
Yeah, it's very sad, yeah. And like you said to me sometimes that since things go so crazy in Sweden, when you travel, sometimes you hide your passport because you feel ashamed of showing that you are from a crazy country, yeah?
Yeah, because I'm not ashamed, of course, of being a Swedish, but I'm ashamed of what is going on in Sweden.
Yes, yes.
And if you stand, let's say you arrive in Suvarnabhumi Airport in Bangkok, and there's a lot, usually before there was a lot of people. So you stand with your passport, you have your documents, you've filled in and everything ready. And I've had, not only there, other places as well. They look, oh, it's Swedish. Oh, what's going on in Sweden? What's happening? Like Donald Trump said, what's happening in Sweden? And I don't mind. I can discuss it. I can talk about it. But I feel ashamed. I'm in a passport line where, you used to be proud of carrying a Swedish passport, the best passport in the world.
Yes.
And it's only a question of time. I would say as soon as this so-called cinnamon roll is over, a lot of countries will demand a visa for Swedish people to enter, because we've given 30,000 passports to Somalis. So now they can travel to the United States, for instance, without visa. Do you think United States will be very happy about that?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so too.
No. Okay, Christer, thank you very much for this introduction to my few English-speaking viewers, and it was a pleasure to introduce you, and see you later.
Thank you for doing it. Have a good day. Thank you very much.